Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
You serious?
Things are just not going Kamala Harris's way. Her past is being revealed and the polls are starting to reflect it. And she's not doing herself any favors by giving all of these horrible interviews. But the answers, oh, the answers are truly divine. As we're going to see Kamala Harris bury herself completely on The View. But before we get to these clips, please like and comment on the video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
As vice president, you've worked very closely with President Biden for almost 4 years. He was here on our show.
Yeah.
And he said there wasn't a single thing that he did that you could not do. Mm-hmm. What do you think would be the biggest specific difference between your presidency and a Biden presidency?
Well, we're obviously two different people, and we have a lot of shared life experiences. For example, the way we feel about our family and our parents and so on. But we're also different people, and I will bring those sensibilities to how I lead. You know, for example, I know we're going to talk today, but one of the issues that I'm very focused on is what we do around home health care.
Yes.
I have done a lot of work as it relates to, sadly, but violence against women and children. I care a lot about that. I love our small businesses. My mother raised my sister and me predominantly, but we had what we called a second mother who lived 2 houses down who helped my mother raise us. She was a small business owner. I love our small businesses. And so the influence of a personal experience will have its impact on the presidency.
Well, if anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Yeah.
So did you hear that? All right. Kamala Harris admitting there's going to be no difference between a Biden presidency and a Kamala Harris presidency, right? Just go ahead and slap on, I'm Donald Trump and I approve this message right now. Okay. I can see that coming out because people hate what's going on in this country right now. They hate the inflation. They hate the wide open borders, right? They hate all of this stuff. And Kamala Harris has just put herself in with it, right? No difference whatsoever. And Sunny Hostin even gave her a chance because when she first asked the question, what does Kamala Harris talk about? The same talking point she goes on. Oh, I love our small businesses. I come from a small town. We had a second mother and she had a small business. Then why are you trying to raise business taxes to 28%, Kamala Harris, if you love your small businesses so much? But regardless, she doesn't answer the question. She gives a word salad and then Sunny has to redirect and say, okay, are there any differences? Please give us a difference because Joe Biden is not popular. People do not like his policies. And what does Kamala Harris do? She flubs it and says, there's nothing I would do that's different. Absolutely nothing. It's like she wants to lose, and thank goodness for that. Now, what's truly amazing about this is that even the pundits over at CNN saw that this was a huge gaffe on her part to really separate herself from someone who is so unpopular, he had to drop out of the race.
I'm surprised, frankly, that she doesn't have more to say about this, given that she and her campaign know that this is one of the main questions that voters have about her. And one of the main things she's been trying to establish as part of her candidacy is the idea that she would represent a break from the past 4 years, and to not be able to come up with something to say in that moment. She continues to not be particularly nimble on her feet in a lot of these interviews, and this is a very obvious question that gave her an opportunity, frankly, to differentiate herself in a way that would have made news, that would have answered, I think, the curiosity of a lot of voters who want to know how she would lead differently. And she's not very specific in laying that out, and she can't point to a decision she would have made differently, which, you know, in an electorate that thinks that doesn't like the way this administration has led and that doesn't like the track that the country is on, that may not be a very satisfactory answer.
I mean, it's a delicate dance because it's not as if she's coming in. It's not as if she just fell out of a coconut tree. She's been part of this administration as the vice president for 4 years now. She did later talk about the fact that she would put a Republican in her cabinet, which she first told me over the summer. And then she said, oh, that's something that's different. she sort of added it later.
Sure. This has been the central sort of point of tension when it comes to the Harris campaign. You are framing yourself as a change candidate, but you also represent incumbency. You were vice president for the past 4 years, and often saying that you were the last one in the room as well when President Biden would make a decision. So it's tough to detach yourself from a president that, you know, consistently in the polls has been unpopular with the public as well.
Now, I think I'm detecting a bit of panic in their voice, or maybe it's exasperation, right? They just can't simply believe what Kamala Harris has said. She is not distancing herself from the unpopular candidate, right? She's doubling down on everything they've done. And so it's up to them. It's up to them to describe, oh, well, here are some things that are a little bit different about her. I mean, sure, yeah, she said she's going to have a Republican in her cabinet. Yeah, definitely, 100%, as if that'll ever happen, okay? So yeah, they're seeing what a wasted opportunity this was for Kamala Harris politically. I mean, even I can see that. Kamala Harris, this was your chance. Get as far away from Joe Biden as possible. But she didn't take it. And thank goodness, all right? Just one more thing to hang around her neck by the Trump campaign, right? She's taken the country down just like Joe Biden has been. However, she's not done there.
When you were here last, I asked about the border, which remains a top issue to voters. Yeah. And as you rightly pointed out, the former president blocked the strongest border security bill in decades. Yeah. But there remains this perception among voters that the Biden administration dragged its feet and waited too long to act to address the border crisis. Can you speak to why voters may feel that way?
Sure. Well, first of all, to your point, when we first came in office, hours after we were inaugurated, the first bill we offered, before infrastructure, before bringing down the cost of prescription medications, it was to fix our broken immigration system. And it never got taken up, in large part for political reasons, because solutions are at hand, and we need to fix the problem. Then, to your point, a bipartisan group of members of the United States Congress, including some of the most conservative members, worked together with our support to craft the most serious and strong border security bill we've seen in years. Yes. Donald Trump got word of it and told them, don't put the bill up for a vote, because he didn't want a solution, because he'd prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. So then we had to do, in addition to what we've done since day one in trying to strengthen the border, we took further action in terms of executive action. We have seen illegal immigration reduced by half, the intake of fentanyl reduced by half. But ultimately, if we want a real fix to this, Congress has to act. We need, for example, in that bill, we would have put 1,500 more border agents at the border, which is why the Border Patrol supported it. I went down to the border, and let me tell you, these border agents are working around the clock. They're trying as hard as they can. They need more resources. I have personally prosecuted transnational criminal organizations for the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. I have taken on the cartels. I've prosecuted the cartels. I understand the serious nature of this issue and the need to fix it. And solutions are at hand. But again, Donald Trump prefers to run on problems instead of fixing problems. He's not solution-oriented.
Well, I seriously hope that everyone watching The View actually takes Kamala Harris's advice and watches a Donald Trump rally. They will see the amount of people in attendance. They will see the actual joy and happiness. They will also see Donald Trump, in his own words, say how much he cares about this nation and the citizens of this nation. But Kamala Harris sits here and on the question of the border gives the exact same canned response she has been giving for a month. Right? This is the same thing she said at the debate with Donald Trump, the same thing she said in the CBS interview, the same thing she said at the 60 Minutes interview. It's all the same. Nothing has changed. And it's the same lies as well. Because I'll tell you what Kamala Harris did on day one with Joe Biden. They cut out all of Donald Trump's executive actions that had this country's border safe and secure. And what happened? We had a quadrupling in the amount of daily interceptions at the border of illegal immigrants. And when she talks about, oh, this bill that would have solved all the problems, no, it wouldn't have, because it does not secure the border. And all those extra agents, they were not there to protect the border or to stop people from coming in. They were there to process people. So try as she might, Kamala Harris is blatantly selling a falsehood. For 3 years, they did nothing about the border. And then recently, when the problem became so big where they had to act, guess what they did? They followed Donald Trump's playbook and enacted a few executive orders of their own, which cut the migrant crossings in half. So now it's only double what it was under Donald Trump. So good job, Kamala Harris. You have disproven everything you just said and proven why you do not care about the border at all. And I have to hear her say one more time that she has gone after transnational criminal organizations. I'm going to pull my hair out, because if she's done that in the past, why aren't you doing that now? I mean, holy crap. Come on, Kamala, do something positive for a change. But of course she can't, because she's a Democrat leftist, and this is exactly what she wants. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay safe out there, people, because they're coming after you.